And I'm just going to quickly say a few words in Spanish for our viewers from our sister station Telemundo. As soon as I'm done, I'll go back to our coverage here in English. Buenos días desde el helicóptero. Yo soy Eliana Moreno junto con mi piloto James Pollard sobre una persecución policíaca involucrando a la patrulla de caminos de California. Están persiguiendo a un motociclista que está ahora en el área de Echo Park. Es una persecución que empezó en el área de Santa Fe Springs y continuó hacia el oeste hasta llegar al sur de Los Ángeles, donde el motociclista se subió a la autopista 110 en dirección norte y continuó en esa autopista hasta llegar a la autopista 101, donde también se fue en dirección norte y ahora está en las calles de Echo Park, ahora en la calle Academy Road. Al momento se desconoce por qué la policía está persiguiendo a esta persona, pero es una persecución que ha durado aproximadamente 30 minutos. Back here in English, it looks like our rider is going off-roading a little bit here through the Elysian Park area. What a dangerous situation, really. You've got a lot of hikers, you've got people walking their dogs. Oh, so incredibly dangerous. I really wish you wouldn't have done that because this really does put a lot of pedestrians in his path. So unclear to me if he knows where he's at because this just seems like such an odd choice of where one would run if involved in a pursuit of this nature. But he is off-roading here, people moving out of the way, people who are just simply trying to go on a nice little walk here in the Elysian Park area. Now he's under these trees. So we'll try to find him here out the other side. There he goes. Of course, the airship's overhead, so even if the ground units lose him, they have the airship as backup, or vice versa. If the airship loses him, those units are still pretty close behind. So we're in, again, Elysian Park. You see some of the streets there that are popping up in the general area like Stadium Way. And it looks like that maybe what he was trying to do was to get back out to Stadium Way. Absolutely crazy. I cannot believe he managed to make his way through the hill there and end up back on a major street here, Stadium Way, and is now picking up the pace here. But there is a squad car behind him. You saw it just a moment ago, and now making that right turn onto Academy Road yet again. South on Stadium Way, there you go. So in terms of where we are, you see Chavez Ravine, you see Stadium Way. What does that tell you? We're by Dodger Stadium, folks. And so you see all of the beautifully lined road here leading up to Dodger Stadium, and that's exactly where this guy is. And now he's got that ground unit behind him. I don't know where the motorcycles went. I lost them when he went into that hill. But really picking up the pace. So perhaps that's all he wanted, was to lose the motorcycles, because they were really the only ones that really could keep up with him, because whatever move he did, they could do it too. But now that they appear to be hanging back a bit, all he has is that squad car of the California Highway Patrol directly behind, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for that officer in that squad car to follow a motorcycle. I can't tell you how many motorcycle chases we hear compared to how many we're actually able to cover, because most of the time the motorcyclists get away. In my 12 years of doing this up here in the helicopter, I think I've only gotten about 3 motorcycle chases, so this may be the 4th, because they are just very difficult to follow, and most of them do get away. But in this case, this has been going on for quite some time, so this guy's chances are really diminishing when it comes to getting away after leading officers on this wild chase. Buenos días desde el helicóptero, yo soy Eliana Moreno reportando. La persecución continúa aquí en Sunset Boulevard, en el área de Echo Park, y hace solo unos minutos estábamos muy cerca al estadio de los Dodgers, pero como pueden ver, la patrulla de caminos de California sigue persiguiendo a este motociclista que ahora está dando una vuelta en la calle Levita Terrace. Es una calle que él ha usado antes durante la persecución, entonces tal vez es un área que él conoce bien, o tal vez conoce a personas que viven en esta área, pero como pueden ver, el helicóptero del condado del sheriff está sobre la escena y los oficiales están directamente atrás de la motocicleta. Okay. Back with you guys here in English. He just went down a little alleyway, but he came out the other side. You see the streets there, Echo Park Avenue. He's really got such an advantage being on a motorcycle because he's really able to fit into any nook and cranny, any small alleyway. He can manage his way in and out of it. But you see that these CHP officers are not giving up by any means. They're still trailing him. They've got the sheriff's airship overhead. And if you're just joining us, again, this is a pursuit that started in the Santa Fe Springs area of the California Highway Patrol and then made its way northbound on the 110 freeway until he transitioned onto that 101 north and exited at Glendale Avenue, where he's been on surface streets ever since. And we have seen him really driving in an erratic fashion. Should just be coming out the other side. There you go. Yeah, motorcycles aren't easy to follow, folks. I'll tell you that, because it's just tough. You can easily lose them under a tree. But you see that there's now additional officers joining the pursuit. So some of those motorcycle units that were in it before are back in the chase now. Sunset Boulevard here in the Echo Park area. You see lots of pedestrians out and about. So that's really what worries me, is the fact that there's so many pedestrians out and this guy could come up on one of them so easily, so quickly, and an accident could occur. But you see coming out there the other side, don't mind that airship. There you go on Glendale Avenue at Montrose, continuing here at relatively slow speeds, all things considered, about 40 miles an hour. Other than failure to yield. With motorcycles, we often also hear reckless driving and high speeds, and we have seen quite a bit of that. So that very well could have been what the original want was when they first tried to pull this guy over. But now continuing here, Sunset Boulevard. Back with you guys here. I was just talking to my pilot, Jim, because he's our motorcycle expert up here, and he seems to think it is a dual sport dirt bike that this guy is riding, which seems to be holding up pretty well. He's been going on now for quite some time, a pursuit that's been going on now for, I'd put it at about 30 to 40 minutes now, maybe even longer. And it made its way on freeways for a while, and it has been now on surface streets for a while since we got overhead in News Chopper 4. Okay, making another turn here. La persecución continúa aquí en la avenida Morton. La patrulla de Caminos de California sigue persiguiendo a este motociclista. Es una persecución que ahora ha durado aproximadamente 30 a 40 minutos y empezó en el área de Santa Fe Springs y continuó hacia el sur de Los Ángeles antes de llegar aquí a la autopista 101 y Glendale Avenue, donde se salió de la autopista y ahora está manejando aquí por las calles cerca del estadio de los Dodgers y ahora está yéndose en la dirección de Elysian Park y Chavez Ravine. Back with you guys here in English. He's doing it yet again. So that move that he tried before, trying to hide under the cover of the brush here in the Elysian Park area, it looks like he wants to give it another try because he figured that whatever he did last time worked because he was able to lose those motor officers. And he does appear to be giving them a hand gesture or two, so I won't zoom in too much when I see him do that. But again, Elysian Park here, very close to Dodger Stadium. I mean, they're on to him. He's done it before. I don't know why he would try this again, but he's going to go under that tree there and likely pop out the other side, which will put him onto Stadium Way. So we'll just watch and wait for him to come out. There he goes. So same as he did before is what the airship is saying, so he kind of called it from here as well. So he's trying to make his way down, And when he does come down, he'll end up on Stadium Way. There he goes. Coming out in just a moment. It's so funny. There's people picnicking. There's people literally out on a picnic bench just enjoying a nice lunch on a beautiful Southern California day. And this guy on a motorcycle involved in a chase just happens to drive right by. I feel like these people now feel they've seen it all, because this is really ridiculous when you think about it, and just so dangerous, because you have people who are walking, you have dogs out and about. It really is a dangerous situation. And this time around, it looks like he's going to stay on the dirt and in the grass here a little bit longer than he did last time. It should dump him out to a parking lot, but he sees that ground unit. There you go. So let's see what they do here. Unfortunately, they can't pit him. Officer can't endanger his own life, and he can't endanger the life of the rider. So for that reason, they can't just simply try to knock him over. They're going to have to wait for him to stop. Left turn here on Morton. So he's starting to go by streets that he's been on before. So that leads me to believe that he's probably pretty familiar with this area. Morton, La Vida, two very popular streets with this guy. Echo Park, Sunset. Here he is back on Echo Park. Picking up speed a little bit. Throwing up a gesture or two. That motorcycle officer is not giving him much wiggle room. Oh, nearly collided with that Prius. He had kind of trouble making that turn. If you've never ridden a motorcycle, the turns are always the hardest. So it looks like he was struggling there for just a sec. Okay, I'm back out here, Glendale Boulevard at Montana. I wanted to zoom in a little bit just to kind of see what he's wearing. It looks like he's wearing all black. The motorcycle, of course, some sort of dirt bike, with some sort of like storage in the back perhaps, and then the color looks like a light red. And in terms of fuel economy, bikes are great, so this could go on for a while. It has gone on for a while. Started in the Santa Fe Springs area of the CHP, made its way towards South LA, and then made its way up here to the central LA area, where he exited off the 101 at Glendale Avenue and has been on surface streets ever since. Oh, really? Per gallon? Oh, wow. Thank you. My pilot, Jim, telling me that these types of dirt bikes can get you about 80 to 100 miles per gallon. So that's pretty impressive. So if this pursuit goes on for another 10 minutes, guys, we do have the NBC4 News at 11 a.m. coming up, of course, on NBC4, but we'll continue to stream on NBCLA.com, Roku TV, Apple TV, and all of our streaming platforms. Y para nuestros televidentes de Telemundo 52, of course, we'll also have it on streaming on Telemundo. La persecución continúa aquí en la calle Alvarado y Montana, donde la Patrulla de Caminos de California sigue persiguiendo a este motociclista. Es una persecución que empezó aproximadamente hace 45 minutos. La razón por la cual la persecución empezó al momento es desconocida, pero obviamente los oficiales trataron de parar al ciclista y no paró. Cuando lo trataron de parar cerca del área de Santa Fe Springs, La persecución después continuó hacia el sur de Los Ángeles hasta llegar al centro de Los Ángeles, donde se salió de la autopista en la autopista 101 en la avenida Glendale, y desde entonces ha estado en las calles de Echo Park y Elysian Park, llegando muy cerca 2 veces al estadio de los Dodgers. Al momento no ha chocado con cualquier peatón o con cualquier vehículo, pero obviamente es una situación muy peligrosa considerando las velocidades a las cuales él está manejando aquí en el área. Alrighty, just made another turn there, Rampart Boulevard. He hasn't been on Rampart before, but it's still the same general area. We have him out your side, Jim. He's about 2 to 3. By pilot James Pollard, of course, doing a great job of keeping us over the chase. It's a tough chase to follow with so many twists and turns. So we, of course, appreciate him and his awesome flying. And here you go. Here's the rider. One more time. We'll take a quick peek there at what he looks like. Oh, and coming to a stop, perhaps? Let's see. No, he's just going up an alley. I don't know if it leads out. It probably does, but let's see. Good morning, Mia. Oh, Naomi, I'm sorry, I heard Mia. There we go. So he basically drove himself into a driveway where he couldn't get out. We see him now. He's down on the ground. Officers are taking him into custody after that lengthy chase. I think he thought that alley led out, and it didn't. And so when he got to the end of that driveway, he probably realized what he had done. And that is when officers took advantage of the opportunity and got him off his bike and took him into custody. If it's any consolation, he didn't drop his bike in the process. The bike is standing there, but he's down on the ground, handcuffed, fully complying here with CHP officers. What they're going to do here is they're going to get all his leather off and search his person, make sure that there's nothing on him that could potentially harm any of the officers. And if by any chance the man needs medical attention of any sort, they will give him that as well before taking him back to the station. But you can see him there. They're taking his leather jacket off, all of his fanny pack, everything that he was wearing, so that they can search his person and again make sure that there's nothing on him that could harm any of the officers. But there you go, our first look at the rider. He is complying, though it does appear that he's talking back to the officers. Code 4, that's what that officer just did for us there. So you saw that officer who was searching him just brought up his hand and gave us the number 4. So that means code 4. So that means that he's in custody, the situation is resolved. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, perfect, will do. So once again, thank you to everyone who joined us for our pursuit coverage of this crazy motorcycle chase that ended here in the Elysian Park area. Let me see, I'm gonna get